Welcome into the latest edition of ESPN FC here on ESPN Plus. Lots of action to bring you today. Later on, we'll be showing you how both Lionel Messi suggest it is most definitely over. This wasn't like a Liverpool United game that you played in even, that I grew up watching.
No.
Just the complete and utter difference in quality was there for everyone to see.
It was men against boys. You know, people will give United credit for digging in when they could, but the truth
that's an issue as well. If you're giving United a pat on the back, oh, it was only 2-0, you tried really hard, what has happened to this club?
I mean, sit and listen to everybody after the game, that's kind of what I'm hearing. And the fact is, the only reason that they were in this game is because Liverpool's finishing wasn't good at all. You know, De Gea's made a couple of great saves. You've got Salah. This guy drives me mental. Have you seen me sat in my bed this morning watching this game?
Right, that's a mental image.
Screaming at him. He couldn't control it every time it came to him, it bounced off him. And then he turns round and scores. I mean, it's an incredible goal.
Yeah.
I mean, just the fact that the distance he runs, he's holding a player off, he's still got the composure at the end of it and he puts it home. He drives me crazy. He's been driving me crazy all season. But as a game, there was only one team in it, really. Come on.
Yeah. I think you just mentioned the fact that a moral victory, apparently, nowadays, is good enough for Manchester United. That Solskjaer comes after the game and he's seemingly satisfied and happy with the performance. And yet you feel like going to him and saying, what in the world are you talking about? What game are you watching? Because outside of the Martial chance, and I guess you can make the case of the Pereira chance as well in the first half.
Yeah.
That is it. That's it from Manchester United. And you have seen teams across the Premier League actually create those sort of chances, one or two of those a game against this version of Liverpool. Because even though Liverpool was far superior to Manchester United, this wasn't even the best version of Liverpool. They allow teams to hang around because they don't put games away the way that they did at times last year. That, for whatever reason, this year it seems more difficult for Liverpool to put games away, and yet they are 30 points ahead of Manchester United and 16 points ahead of everybody else, and they're going to run away with this league. It's not even the best version of Liverpool. And yet, between Liverpool and Manchester United is two different leagues. They are playing in two different fields. They are playing in two different realities. So moral victory, apparently that's a good thing for Manchester United and good enough now for Liverpool. It's yet another day where they step on the field knowing full well they're going to win, executing just enough to win, and moving on with their lives.
Before we get on to where United go, just quickly, the foul on De Gea for you, was that a foul?
Yeah.
Was it?
When it happened, I thought there was nothing wrong with it. But the truth is, when you see it again, it's a foul for me because Van Dijk gets ahead of the ball. And he's jumping into the goalkeeper. It's not like he's jumping into another player to head the ball. He's jumping in, he's hitting the goalkeeper, and when the goalie's coming with his hands, that affects him more than a normal player would. And that's why it's a foul.
Can I just say, I agree with you that it's a foul. Couple of things. De Gea, if you know Van Dijk is coming, whatever happened with the old school, put your knee up here and allow Van Dijk to run right into your knee. I have no idea why goalkeepers have moved away from doing that. The other thing that I would say is the referee saw it right in front of him. He made a choice and a call in saying it's not a foul. And so then you have to talk about, well, is this a clear and obvious error? And if indeed that's the case, if we are now allowing referees in the Premier League to go and see the replay themselves, why do we not then say to the referee, hey, buddy, run over, see it again, evaluate your own perception and your own decision, and then you can make that decision yourself instead of somebody somewhere else making that call.
Okay, again, that clear and obvious thing does my brains in. Listen, I think the referee did the right thing. He let the game go, the ball hit the back of the net, because he knows that that's
his lifeline.
That's his lifeline. Isn't that better than the referee just making a snap decision? And if it's wrong, then unfortunately somebody's going to suffer the consequences, as opposed to letting it hit the back of the net, and then you can check it. That's perfect for me.
Well, but the lifeline, if he goes and see it, that's a
no, he should, yeah. But the fact is, they got it right because the guy got it right. Well, they told him, but I 100%. He should be the one that makes the final decision.
Let's talk about United then.
Oh,
I think a good way to start this conversation is just taking a look at their starting 11 today. And, of course, there's no Rashford. He's going to be out for weeks. Pogba, well, who knows when he's going to be back. This is Manchester United who have spent a lot of money. What's it, over £1 billion since Sir Alex Ferguson left the club? Yeah, this...
I guess the best place to start is, right? So the team...
So we're getting rid of... If you were to do a clean-out, like De Gea at the moment... Would you give him a pass because of what he's done in the past, or are you concerned that he isn't what he should be?
I'm moving on.
Right.
No, but here's what I think if you want to paint a clear picture of what Manchester United is and has been, is Juan Mata scores a goal against Wolves in the midweek. People today were upset that Juan Mata wasn't starting. Now, Juan Mata has been left for dead for who knows how long with Manchester United. And now the desperate fans are like, yes, Juan Mata is the guy. He will be the one that turns it around for us. There's nowhere to turn to if you're Manchester United. You look around and you go, man, of this team, who is it that if you were given the opportunity to start over and say, how many of those players do you keep? Yeah. How many of those players do you build around? How many of those players are part of your core group 5-10 years from now?
Yep.
The answer is...
And I think another way to turn that is how many of those players get into a Manchester City or Liverpool starting 11?
Wild, and that's it.
And that's at a push.
Yeah. So, I know it's been thrown out there before, but basically Man United are where Liverpool were a decade ago. And the problem that United have, we can sit, and I'm sure plenty of United fans and people on the board and whatever are sitting looking at that team the way we are and saying, well, we need a clear out. The problem is, you can't have a clear out because who are you bringing in? Yeah. You know, regardless of where you are, when you're a coach or you're a team, when you're bringing somebody in, they have to be better than the one you have. And again, we can argue how good Pereira is or how good Enan Matic is now is. But how do they replace them with better? And that's the biggest problem they have.
And you've got it from top to bottom. Obviously, Woodward and the way that he's conducted his business has been excellent for the books, but not on the pitch. You look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, a man who got relegated with Cardiff, has got no real managerial experience to justify him having this job, yet he's the man in charge. And he's not going to help you bring in people over the summer, is he?
No.
To rebuild this club, because it's not Sir Alex Ferguson on the phone to you or chatting to your parents or going to see you. This is Solskjaer. Nice guy, not good enough.
Well, and to that end, one of the things that Manchester United has leaned on in this sort of new life of Manchester United is saying, you know what, we're going to depend on the young talent. We are going to nurture the young talent. It's about youth. And then you say, wait a minute. If it is about youth, why didn't you go after Haaland? Why didn't you truly pursue one of the young, up-and-coming strikers in the world? Haaland. Then he makes his debut for Borussia Dortmund and scores a hat-trick. And you're thinking, well, isn't this the profile of the player that you're looking for?
Mind you, if you're Haaland at the moment, why on earth do you want to get involved with United
and that's
when you're at Dortmund?
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I've just said. How are you supposed to get rid of anybody at United? Like Martial, for example. He is a guy in the trade, we say, this is the guy that gets you fired. Mm-hmm. Because what he does is, every now and again, he produces something fantastic, and you go, well, this guy's got talent. And then he disappears. And then just when you're ready to throw him away, he does something great again. Yeah. But how do you get rid of Martial? Sorry, how do you bring somebody in that's better than Martial? And the fact that Haaland doesn't come to Man United and goes to Borussia tells you exactly the problems that they're going to have replacing anybody.
By the way, what an indictment it is on the Premier League this season that this team is only 5 points off Chelsea in fourth.
Well, and you look at the table and you say, okay, Liverpool and the best version of Manchester City, different level, right? They are nowhere near everybody else. And then after that it is some kind of awful.
Yeah.
This weekend, for example, Chelsea losing to Newcastle, and you're thinking, my goodness, this is a top 4 team.
No, but Ali, that's the appeal of the Premier League. That one team can beat another.
Yeah, no, but well, you can say you can turn it and spin it like that, or you can say there is a lot of average and mediocre teams
for the money that's in that league.
Oh yeah, and the distancing of Liverpool and Manchester City is embarrassing, not only to the teams behind them, but to the league as a whole. Because then you start making the argument, wait a minute, how is this any different than La Liga?
Well,
It wasn't the differentiation of
It's levels of bad, isn't it?
Huh?
It's levels of bad. Really.
Well, but how is that the differentiation between the Premier League and La Liga has been for many years that, well, it's not just Real Madrid, Barcelona. It is Liverpool and Manchester City, and that's it. The other ones have no chance of competing with the other two.
Just to end this chat, I want to just mention Liverpool a little bit more, Stevie. Just out of interest, because I think we could ask 100 people and they would give you lots of different answers. Man of the match today?
Oof.
See, it's not a
that's really tough. Listen. Well, number one, Alisson never at any stage could at all looked as though someone was going to beat him.
Is it easy just to say Van Dijk?
No, Van Dijk was just his usual dominant, fantastic self. You've got Henderson and Wijnaldum. I mean, Oxlade-Chamberlain. When Oxlade-Chamberlain signed for Liverpool, I went, why are we signing Oxlade-Chamberlain? Because you couldn't get a game for Arsenal.
Yeah.
But he's a completely different animal now.
Yeah.
I thought,
you said Salah wouldn't start when he came in.
Well, Salah drives me insane, but what about the goal? And you got Firmino, who, listen, you just can't pick the guy up.
You're just naming every player.
But it's really difficult to pick one.
Yeah.
The ones I mentioned, I thought were better than the others. But listen, I just said we're talking about levels of bad. Now we're talking about levels of good.
Speaking of levels of good, 31 games now for Liverpool. They've won 30 and drawn 1. It is an extraordinary run under Jurgen Klopp. There it is in all its glory. Out of 93 points, they've accrued 91. So what does that all mean with the title? Let's take a look. 66 to 1 on. If you're not familiar with gambling, maybe it means you have to put 60. Job done, Ali. What did you see today?
A job done, and I think early on you saw energy from Barcelona. You saw that the team was lively, but you also saw the reasons as to why Barcelona has been struggling. They become very narrow. There is very little width to this team. If it's not provided by Jordi Alba, it's not provided by anybody else. Another quiet performance on Antoine Griezmann offensively, although he did provide a lot of help defensively, sometimes tracking back and slide tackles. And while I appreciate that from Antoine Griezmann, I don't think that's the reason as to why he is in Barcelona. And I think to highlight something from today's performance of Quique Setien's Barcelona, I think the one thing that I would say is, at their very best under Pep Guardiola, Barcelona was not only good in possession, but when they lost the ball, they were the best team in the world in getting that ball back, recovering possession in the attacking half. The goal today comes from Riqui Puig, a young player from Barcelona, 20 years old, that actually gets put into a position where high pressure, Quique Setién making his debut, he gives this kid an opportunity, he goes, wins the ball back, and then from there Barcelona is able to score. If Barcelona is able to acquire or rekindle that ability to recover the ball higher up the field, it gives them a better opportunity to continue to dominate games.
Unfortunately, that's not going to happen because they just don't have the legs. They don't have the legs to do it. It's also going to take a little bit of time, not just for Messi, but everybody else, to get used to Griezmann playing centre forward. You know, they're used to playing with Suarez, and they're used to playing balls into areas in behind in the final third because they know where Suarez is going to be. Right now, they're not quite sure where Griezmann's going to be. So that's going to take time as well.
The other thing is that Griezmann doesn't know where to be at times. And while he's playing center forward, then he's got to be sort of the highest guy on that line. But he likes dropping underneath. He likes rotating in and out. And when he rotates in and out, well, that forces somebody else to go and take that position centrally. But we don't see enough of that. There's a lot of moving parts and a lot of rotation. But Griezmann then pops into places where you wouldn't certainly see Suarez, and then you don't see anybody else taking that central role. Once again, and we said this many a times, I don't care if it's Griezmann, Fati, Riqui Puig, Sergio Busquets, whatever. If it's not Messi, it doesn't work out for Barcelona. That's whether it's Setién, Valverde, or...
Inevitably, we talked about it here on the show. Is it just the case he wasn't fit?
Yeah, but I think explaining that and saying that he just wasn't fit doesn't do enough for Cristiano Ronaldo. Clearly, there were things that were going on in his body. But individually, I just don't think that he felt confident enough in his body to trust that he was going to be able to do the things that he's known to be doing for the last decade or so. Now that he's fit, not only does he have trust in his body, but the confidence is there. And you may say, well, the confidence never leaves a guy like Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, confidence is fickle. Confidence doesn't care whether you're Ronaldo or Messi. And when you don't see the ball going in the back of the net at the same rate that you have done throughout the course of your career, you're going to take a dip in confidence as well. You're going to take a hit because you're hoping that things are going to happen for you, but your body's not reacting the way you want it to. You're not seeing the goal in the back of the net, and then we saw what we saw, the struggles. Now, once you get a run like this, the man bun is flowing, everything is going well, and he feels like today he was miserable because he didn't score a hat trick.
Yep.
That's where Ronaldo is now, where he wasn't like that early on in the season. There were a couple of times where he got a free header in the box, he couldn't score for the hat trick, and you can see it like the world is about to end. Well, that means Ronaldo's back.
Does Sarri get any sort of credit for this?
No.
It's that simple.
No. Listen, it's all about fitness. You know, when somebody like him, and his standards are so high and we expect so much of him, when he's not 100% fit, he's never going to reach that. Because he's hesitant, it takes more time because he thinks about it, and because he's not as quick as he was, that gives young defenders time to get blocks in and get close to him. But when he's 100% fit, because he's smart, off he goes, and the ball's in the back of the net.
And of course, 3 points for Juventus, an important 3 points, given that Inter could only manage that draw earlier on in the day. 4 points, now the difference between Juve and Conte's side. Lazio, meanwhile, sitting in third. They're 6-1, Inter 7-2, Juve 5-2 on. Any chance for Inter? Is it too early to write them off?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it?
It's early to write them off, but you see why you lean Juventus. Because in games that could have gone one way or the other, Juventus usually wins. Whereas in games that could have gone one way or the other, now Inter is finding it difficult for them to get 3 points. So now you drop 2 points here, you drop 2 points there, and now 2 weeks later, they're 4 points behind, and now how do you make up that difference?
This should be a great time for them to turn around and go, you know what, we need to pull the plug and get Christian Eriksen. Because games like this is when you need somebody who can pull something.
Why are you pulling the plug on Eriksen? He's not dead.
What are you talking about?
Don't pull the plug on someone.
Well,
Pull the trigger. You're pulling the trigger.
Because somebody like him wins you this is a game that they win you. Listen, at the end of the day, I mean, Moisey was there for what, 7 months, 8 months, max?
Yes.
You can't. I mean, when Fergie left, the team needed rebuilding. I think Fergie left because he was thinking, you know what, I'm too old now.
Well, he could see what was going to happen.
Well, that's one way of putting it. The other way of putting it is that the team needed rebuilding. He knew it had come to the end with that cycle of players. And so, to sack somebody when you give him a team that needs completely recharged and reformed and started again, to sack somebody after a short period of time like that, I don't think he's right.
Was anyone ever in the same shape like Mo Salah was when he took his jersey off today against United?
No.
No. It's quite ripped.
Hey.
By the way, what's more likely? What?
He actually thought I was going to say, yeah, sure.
What's more likely, Xhaka making that pass to Salah or Xhaka making the run that Alisson made once Salah had scored?
Well, we know.
Neither. I know Xhaka couldn't kick it that far.
Yeah,
And he can't. He could
couldn't
his
run that
hammies.
far without coming.
Well, we know how tender the hamstrings are.
Yep, exactly.
Xhaka. Yep.
Did Stevie ever rip off his shirt after a great goal?
No, not at all. Nobody did that then. I don't know where that came from. I was an angry goal scorer.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you continue to be an angry everything.
Well. No, I was an angry one. It was one of them.
Right.
Oh,
There wasn't a moment you wanted to go Hulk Hogan. If you did, would you have got into trouble? Say if you gave your shirt away or ripped it off or...
Well, I have to tell you that our old coach, Ronnie Moran, was in charge of the kit.
Okay.
And so If something happened to one of your strips, he would go mental. If you gave it away or ripped it or anything, and we always used to think, why is Ronnie always worried about the kit? And the reason he was worried is because we only had 4 sets of kit for the whole season.
That was it.
That was it.
Wow.
So the most you could go through was 4 shirts in
Liverpool
1 year.
champions of Europe.
The whole shebang.
You could only have 4
4.
shirts. Wow.
But it's kind of like that. Not now, not anymore.
Now you give them out like confetti.
Yes, but even when I was playing, people thought that you're giving away everything.
Right.
And it wasn't quite the case. And even with the national team, so you go with the national team, right?
Yes.
And there are certain jerseys that are more significant to you than others. And now you're handing them out to family. And then you're handing them out to friends, because everybody becomes a friend when you're in a national team, right?
Yep.
And then people in the stands are like, yeah, but you get 20 of those. No, we don't.
Right.
No, we don't. And some of them you want to keep for yourself.
But now it changed, yeah? Now you see them change at half time.
And by the way, the reason I know this is because a player called Glenn Hussein joined us.
Sure.
He used to play in Italy with Fiorentina. And part of the deal with him coming was that we played him in a pre-season friendly. So we go pre-season friendly, we play Fiorentina. At the end of the game, he goes up to the fans of Fiorentina, takes his jersey off and throws it to the fans. Comes back in the dressing room and Ronnie Moran's waiting for him. And he goes, hey, who do you think you are? Glenn's like, what do you mean? He went, oh, you're big time now. Right? He said, listen, son, we've only got 4 of these to do a year, so don't you be flinging them away, all right? Glenn's like, who is this guy?
Guys, ask Gab when you hear from him again if he could contact the aliens he was talking about to kidnap Klopp, because Liverpool's consistency is ridiculous.
Well, it's too late even for the aliens.
It's incredible, isn't it? Klopp could go on holiday and they'd win the league, yeah?
Yes. Yep. Just trot them out.
I have a question.
Yes.
I thought when we did extra time, we'd take questions.
Yes?
Is this a question?
No, Craig, I don't think it is.
I'm just asking. I want to know what the parameters are.
Okay, there's a question now for you, Ali.
Hey.
Why are the Inter Milan interested in the scrap of Manchester United?
see
Alexis Sanchez, Lukaku, Ashley Young?
That is a good question. And I suppose that they're looking for depth, if you will.
Yes.
They're going to need that depth if they're going to keep up with Juventus. I don't think it'll be good enough anyways, because I don't think guys like Ashley Young are going to make a huge difference for Inter, Manchester United, or whoever they're playing with at this point in their careers.
There's a lot of players in Italy now who are really at the end of their careers, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, you said that when you saw. Who did you see?
Well,
Bruno?
I saw Bruno is cuddling
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo. I thought he'd retired. I mean, Rangers got rid of him 12 months ago because he couldn't run. And you got Lucas Leiva, who I thought after he was finished at Liverpool, because his legs had gone at Liverpool. I mean, that's like 3 years ago.
So Serie A in a retirement
Well,
league. Steve,
I'm just saying that I was really surprised.
You know who else who plays in Italy? Zlatan.
Zlatan, yeah. Well, he's only 38. Come on.
Okay. We saw championship games today, of course. Would you rather build a football club around Messi or an American football team centered around Mahomes?
I'm not going to ignore the fact that you called me Craig earlier, by the way.
Well, that was a bit of a Craig statement.
No, but that cut me deep.
Well,
no, it was a personal shot.
Yeah,
I haven't.
I thought it was a bit below the belt.
Yeah,
no, I think it was justified.
No, not
Justified. Because someone's taken the time to tweet in and you got angry at them.
No, I didn't get angry. I just wanted to know what the parameters were, see if we're going to answer questions or not. That's it. As it pertains to this question,
Yes.
Messi. And here's why. Worldwide appeal.
Right.
See, I'm not only putting a team together so that we are locally well known.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so that we are known around the world. Huh? We're going to market ourselves all across the globe.
Could Mahomes be better than Brady?
Could he?
Yes.
He could.
Wow. I wasn't expecting
Wow.
that answer from you, Steve, with your Tom Brady love.
I don't think he will.
Oh.
I don't think he'll get close.
Oh.
But he could. It's just a stupid question, isn't it?
Not really. I imagine it's a stupid question that this network will be talking about a lot.
Hey. Could Ansu Fati be as good as Messi one day?
No.
Well, how do you know? He's only 16 years old. How do you know?
Well, because Ansu Fati didn't just lead his team to the Super Bowl.
Why am I even asking you? What do you know about football?
Which football are we talking about now?
Why am I even asking him a question? Seriously.
Oh, dear. Do you still think Leicester City will stay?
Hey, by the way, hold on. I've just remembered why we shouldn't ask him a question.
Uh-huh.
He said Harry Kane was a one-season wonder.
Oh! There it is! Out of the archives!
I knew there was a reason.
Yeah.
Steve Nicol said that Mohamed Salah would never start for Liverpool.
Serious, by the way.
Oh, dear.
Wow.
And
It just got personal.
yeah, it did.
See, it all started because you called me Craig.
That's it. And Sergio Ramos isn't world class. There we go. There we go.
Hey, but he's still searching. Good.
Leicester, top 4.
Yes. Yep.
I'm going to say yes, but it has very little to do with Leicester and a lot to do with all the other teams.
The mediocrity